Breaking news is first at 5. We are learning more about a school shooting. It's near Denver. It is in the city of Highlands Ranch. Thanks for staying with us. I'm Sharon Reed.
I'm Sean Gables. Police believe 2 people have been injured after shots were fired in Douglas County, Colorado. Right now, police describe the situation as unstable. This is about 12 miles just south of Denver.
Yeah, that's right. It's actually 8 miles, that school is, from Columbine, of course. We just had that 20-year anniversary of the mass shooting there. The shooting today, it took place at a STEM school that teaches kindergarten through 12th grade. 1,800 students are enrolled there right now. Let's go to Paul. He is a student enrolled at the school. And Paul, thanks for joining us. We know it's been just a horrible afternoon thus far. What can you tell us?
I was just in the parking lot with some of my friends waiting for another person to come outside the school. When the sirens at the school started yelling out lockdown, so we stayed in the parking lot. A minute or two later, cops started showing up. A cop with a patrol rifle came up to our car and said, "Are you guys okay?" and then proceeded to enter the building. From there, we waited. There were more cops showed up, state patrol, more people entered. Our friends inside, so there was a lot of screaming. They were all on lockdown. And then we asked the sheriff to come over and to see what we should do. He had us open our trunk to check if there was anyone in there, and then he helped us get out of the parking lot. He just kind of shielded us and then walked us out. We drove up.
Paul, tell us, I'm going to interrupt you real quick, Paul. Paul, tell us what grade you're in. Did the school, in terms of their response, were you notified through an alert, by text, by phone? And how is the district communicating to students now?
The response was pretty quick. The cops were there within, 2 minutes of us hearing the lockdown. As far as the school district response, I had my parents and family call me within a few minutes after because they had text messages received and phone calls. And that's, yeah.
You said the sheriff checked the trunk before allowing you to get out of that parking lot. Any indication from law enforcement, that sheriff, about just how many shooters may be out there? Was it 1, 2 they were looking for? Did you learn any more?
Paul, we're not sure. Are you still there?
Hello, I can't quite hear you. What did you say?
I was saying that you mentioned that the sheriff checked the trunk before you were able to leave the parking lot. Any indication from the sheriff or others in law enforcement about just who they're looking for, who it may be, how many shooters?
We heard that there were multiple shooters. We kind of could tell that it was a shooting because they asked us if we were okay. There were, I believe that they were looking for more than one person because there were multiple cops checking multiple locations. A lot of time they checked behind the dumpsters and in other cars that were leaving as well.
There are reports of a third suspect. Again, it's a chaotic scene in some respects, unstable, I believe law enforcement is calling it. What is the response from your vantage point? It's got to be overwhelming.
Yeah, it's pretty overwhelming. The response was good for helping us out of the parking lot, and then minutes later we had our friends call us because they were presumably safer and they were able to evacuate the building. They had all of the students walk out to safety, and they are now evacuating them to a pickup location, which we are now going to.
Paul, we're hearing that 2 people have been injured in the shooting. Are you hearing any word if they were students, if they were teachers, or maybe personnel that worked on campus? Did the shooting happen inside the school or outside?
I haven't heard as to who was shot. I don't think it was outside because then we would have heard it. I think it was inside because we didn't hear it. But I have no idea who it was.
Well, Paul, we certainly wish, we're glad that you're safe. We were looking at live pictures of what is happening outside the school in Colorado. Again, this is about 8 miles outside of Columbine High School. 12 miles from Denver. This is a similar scene that we have seen over the country time and time again of school shootings. Very little legislation has changed safety in terms of what's happening at schools, but there are some in Florida where they are actually arming teachers inside those schools. I don't think Colorado has done that as of yet, but again, two students, or not two students, but two people have been shot. We have not been told if they were students or teachers or personnel who worked at what we're told is a STEM high school. Teaching grades, a public charter learning community that educates children K through 12. So again, this is a fluid situation. It's breaking as we...
There are multiple reports now, Sean, that two suspects are in custody. Several media outlets in the area are now reporting that. Still, authorities looking for a third, potentially. There was going to be an update from the sheriff's office in this area, but perhaps, they're clearly doing their work there to secure this area. But again, two people injured. That's what we know right now. The school on lockdown. Parents being notified to stay away. Reunification will take place off-site. And the latest, several media outlets now reporting that two people are in custody. We don't know the identities. We don't know if they're students or, outsiders from the building, but perhaps there is still another person at large. We'll continue to monitor the situation, the live pictures. We didn't get to thank Paul. Thank goodness he's okay, and much more to come.